Alright guys, I'm back with another PBR Wi-Fi battle for you. Now, I'm using 3 specific Pokemon that have to be used as a set in order for it to work perfectly. Sometimes it does have its setbacks, however, it has worked about 50% of the time, though I'm hoping to improve that percentage. So, let's get right into it. They started with Moltres, I started with Uxie. Now, I'm gonna go straight away for the Yawn just to force a switch out, but they go for U-turn, which doesn't do much to my Uxie anyway, even though it's a super effective attack. Chances are that Moltres is raised in special attack with U-turn just as an alternative. Probably a choice scarf or choice specs. I don't know. But anyway, they're gonna go out into Frostlass now, and that's just gonna give me the opportunity to Yawn it. And after that, well, I'm gonna jump too far ahead if I do that. So anyway, I go for the Yawn, and of course Frostlass is going to get drowsy. Most of the time when you use Yawn, it forces a switch out unless the Pokemon is a sleep talker or the opponent feels that the Pokemon is bulky enough to take hits while setting up, which is usually what I do most of the time. But they call Frostlass back, and they're going to send out Metagross, I believe. Yes, they send out Metagross. Now, I'm going to set up the Stealth Rock here just to stop that Moltres dead in its tracks. There's really nothing that really resists Stealth Rock on his team besides Metagross. So here I'm going to set up the Rain Dance because Rain Dance is pretty vital in order to get Scizor in most of the time, because Scizor, as you know, is 4 times effective to fire type attacks, and with Rain and Light Screen it should nullify it just a bit. It won't too much, but it works out fine. Usually, sometimes there are certain Pokemon that still manage to one-hit knock out Scizor, even with Rain and Light Screen set up. Now, here I go for Memento. I know about Metagross's clear body, but I don't want to save Uxie since it's really no use anymore, and I could just use that for scouting. So I Memento, even though it has no effect on the Metagross whatsoever, just to get my Scizor in safely. And he's gonna go for Meteor Mash. So that's of course gonna fail because there's nothing to attack. Now I go into Scizor. Now here it's pretty obvious, I just explained it. I set up the Light Screen, I Swords Dance as much as possible, and then anything left over gets past the Luvdisc before Scizor is killed. Again, it works 50% of the time because there are still Pokemon that are of the Fire type that can get through Rain Dance and Light Screen and manage to one-hit knock out Scizor. But most of the time the Light Screen protects him along with the Rain. And because he's got good bulky defense to start off with, it's not too much trouble. So his Metagross is taking forever to decide on a move here, and he finally does. He goes for the Earthquake. Now, Earthquake is not going to do too much to Scizor, especially since, again, Scizor is bulky in defense, and I raised this in max hit points and max special defense. So I set up the Light Screen to prevent any fire type attacks, though Moltres, I believe, has very high special attack, so even with a fire type attack I think it would kill Scizor. But I'll have to do a damage calculation later. That's what I should have done first off. But anyway, he goes for another Earthquake. That chops me down to about half. I'm going to go for the Swords Dance here to pass on to Luvdisc to hopefully try and sweep. Now, here my opponent makes one of the biggest mistakes that he could ever make. He chooses to explode on my Metagross, on my Scizor. Now, he didn't probably know, well, of course he didn't know what the third Pokemon I had was, but if you ask me, he actually wasted that explosion. That explosion could have been saved for Luvdisc if my Focus Sash was chopped, but he chose to use it on Scizor, which was actually a very fatal mistake on his part, part of which by luck. But anyway, Scizor is gone, his Metagross is down. That was most likely the only threat I had to really worry about on his team. Actually, that was, now that I think about it, because Focus Sash on my Luvdisc would have saved me from Frostlass anyway, unless I got Parahaxed, which the chances of happening are slim to, well, just slim. I can't say none because there have been times where Thunderbolt has paralyzed me a number of times. So anyway, Luvdisc is out, Frostlass is out. I'm gonna go for the Waterfall since of course my rain is still going. Waterfall is gonna have power from the rain, and I raised this thing in attack, so Waterfall should do a decent amount of damage. And it does about, I want to call that a third, and I get the flinch, which was a plus. So Luvdisc is going to be able to take out this Frostlass with the next Waterfall. Now, I wasn't counting how many turns of rain I already used up, but I did have a damp rock on my Uxie, so I do have max. I'm going to go for another Waterfall. That's, of course, going to kill the Frostlass, because there's no way Frostlass is going to be able to take that. And the Frostlass is gone, so all that he's left is the Moltres, which is going to take heavy damage from Stealth Rock. Light screen wears off here, but that's not even a problem anymore. And even if he does manage to survive an attack, or should I miss, I'm still going to be able to survive because of my Focus Sash, so it looks like this battle is pretty much mine. So out comes Moltres, the rain is still going, and I'm just going to Waterfall it for the win. So Luvdisc managed to get some action and stop quite a few Pokemon, so I'm just going to end the narration here, and that's the battle, so I will see you next time. And this proves that you should never underestimate a Luvdisc, because you never know when it'll knock you out.